Our demo environment consists of an IBM Z mainframe running ZOS connected via a TCP/IP network. In the first example, we will demonstrate accessing a VSAM key sequence dataset, or KSDS, from a commodity Linux x86 server. In our second example, we will show a similar scenario with a Windows system running the Lozen Microfocus COBOL integration. Let's quickly take a look at one of our test data files using the ZOS ISPF file manager. Here you can see we are looking at the vents.test KSDS file. We see 10 simple 80-byte test records with the key starting in position 0 and the data starting in position 9 for each record. Now let's move on to accessing this same data from a Linux shell so we can see how we've simplified all this complexity. The first thing we'll need to do is connect to our ZOS system. The connection is made using a familiar Linux command, mount. On the mount command, we specify that we want to use the NFS protocol. We also specify the name of our ZOS server and the location in the ZOS file system we want to access. Finally, we give a name to the mount point that we will refer to in our Linux shell. We execute the mount command, and that's it. We're now connected to our ZOS server. Now we can view the data in the VSAM file, again with a command line that is totally familiar to a Linux user. We use the cat command against a file name alias we defined with the external link command on ZOS that points to the same file we viewed using the ISPF file manager on ZOS as vents.test KSDS. If we reissue the same cat command line, we again see the same data, but something very important has just happened. Lozen and NFS cooperate to provide robust data caching at the client, with a quick call to the Lozen server to determine whether any of the data has changed since the last fetch. In this case, the records are retrieved directly from the local cache without incurring any additional network or ZOS file system I/O. Let's now move on to the final part of our demo. Here we see an unmodified microfocus sample program. The COBOL code declares an indexed file that it will access by key. The file contains information about airports. The program will retrieve 2 airport records and calculate and display the distance between them. Let's now build and execute the program. Here we see a dialog that prompts for the 2 airport codes displaying the calculated distance. Using the power and simplicity of Lozen, the program, without modification, has retrieved the 2 airport records from a mainframe VSAM file. We can directly access the single source of truth held in the mainframe VSAM file to obtain just the data we need without making any copies or extracts of the VSAM data.